What is up, everybody? It's Cobes here, and today I am back with a Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going over 20 underrated items I think you should buy. I mean, don't buy all of them unless you want to drain, a couple $100s out of your bank account. Feel free. Make sure to call your bank. Let them know you're buying this many V-Bucks because the transactions just won't go through. But I've always said, if the vast majority of players aren't going to use a certain item, but you really like it, then make that item your own. Always use that item because no one else is going to use it. You're not going to be the same as anyone else in this game. But if you guys disagree with any of my choices on this list, if you don't think they're underrated, make sure to tell me in the comments section. There are a few different items I thought were really underrated, but I didn't add on this list. I'll mention the skins first. I think Hay Man is a very underrated item, but she's not underrated in the fact that not many people have her. I think she's criminally underrated because she's one of the best legendary skins in this game. I feel like this should be one of the most popular, and I don't think it's that. I don't think it's one of the most popular legendaries, but I totally recommend getting Hay Man. I feel the same way with Vertex. I really love that skin. Maybe it's just because I love the color orange, but I think that's another very underrated one. I think Heidi as well is fairly underrated if you guys want to look into getting that one. And lastly, Sergeant Green Clover. If it ever comes back to the shop, no one talks about it. I really love the skin. Starting out at my number 20 spot, I had to give it to the Tricera Ops with the hatchling back bling. For me, this is a perfect skin and a perfect back bling. I love Slushy Jr. If you guys know who that is, he came out with the Slushy Soldier. I love the Shiro and I love the hatchling. Each of these different items are sort of like a little creature on your back. One's a snowman, one's a cat, and then the hatchling's a dinosaur. I love each of those. I felt like putting Tricera Ops at the number 20 spot because I do think a lot of people own her, but she's sort of like the Hay Man. Not enough people own her, and I do think she's more underrated than the Hay Man is, even though Hay Man is severely underrated in my eyes. Moving on to my number 19 spot, I had to give it to the Hay Man with the Hay Nest. This is one of those skins that I just absolutely love. I love using it. I love his purple color scheme with the yellow as well. Those are some of my favorite colors: yellow, orange, purple. Probably my top 3 favorite colors. If a skin has all those colors, you best believe I'm copping it. But the Hay Nest, not the best back bling. I do think the Hay Man is worth it though. I wouldn't always say that. If it has a terrible back bling but the skin's pretty good, I would say maybe don't buy it. But if the skin's amazing to the point where you don't even care about the back bling, get the skin. That's how I feel about the Hay Man. Moving on to my number 18 spot, for a glider, I don't know if it's underrated or not. It's really hard to tell, but I don't see a ton of people using it, and I do watch a lot of streamers. I have to say the Pterodactyl Glider. This is my all-time favorite glider in this game. I do like using umbrellas, but if I'm gonna use a glider, Pterodactyl's a really good choice. He spawns out of an egg. Flying pterodactyl does, sort of like the Flappy Flyer. The Flappy Flyer is a chicken that spawns out of an egg. I really like both of their designs, but pterodactyl to me is a bit better, and I would go as far to say I would believe that more people probably have the Flappy Flyer in comparison to when the pterodactyl first came out. Maybe overall, since the pterodactyl's been out more people have it, but I bet more people bought the Flappy Flyer the first time it came out, if that makes any sense. Let's move on to my number 17 spot. I had to give it to the uncommon Hot Rod. For me, this is just a really good uncommon glider. If you're looking at a bunch of different uncommon gliders, typically you're not going to see one similar to this. It is the Jolly Roger, and I would say this one's somewhat similar, but if they had the choice between the Jolly Roger and the Hot Rod, I think most people would choose the Jolly Roger, but I think the Hot Rod is one of the best uncommon gliders, and you should definitely get it over the Jolly Roger in my opinion. Moving on to my number 16 spot, for a pickaxe that was popular a long time ago, the Bottom Feeder. If you're looking for like a heavy pickaxe that sounds nice, go with the Bottom Feeder. I'm not going to explain this one too much, but I really do like it. Moving on to my number 15 spot, I had to give it to the Bunnymoon. I will explain why I think this one is underrated. I feel like the Bullseye came out and then the Bunnymoon came out shortly after. So everyone's, you know, they spent their money on the Bullseye instead of the Bunnymoon. And I think the Bunnymoon is almost as good as the Bullseye is. I really love the color scheme, the orange, the purple you see on her, and then she just has a bunch of Christmas lights or Halloween lights if those exist. But I would say this is the most underrated uncommon skin as of right now. Once it comes out again, I think it'll I hope to see it slowly become less and less underrated, or if it stays underrated, screw it, I'll use it. Moving on to my number 14 spot, I had to give it to the Triumph Glider. This is another uncommon glider. This one, sort of like the Hot Rod, I'm surprised most people don't own this one or don't even consider it. I don't know, maybe you have considered it, but compared to every uncommon glider, I think these two are just in a league of their own. They don't really compare to the other ones. They're just so much better in my eyes. Moving on to my number 13 spot, I had to give it to one of my favorite rare gliders, the Voyager. This sort of has that tinfoil, you know, Alex Jones wearing tinfoil hat type look to it, but it's gold. I really like that about it, and it has that NASA logo, so maybe Alex Jones is up to something. Epic, what are you trying to tell us? Moving on to my number 12 spot, I had to give it to one of my favorites, the Cat's Claw. And I know I've been saying one of my favorites, and I say that a lot, but really if I use a pickaxe or a skin or a glider all the time, I'm gonna call it one of my favorites because it really is, and there's so much variety in this game. But Cat's Claw is such a simple pickaxe that I think you should buy. If you're looking for a simple one, Cat's Claw is the one to go with. Moving on to my number 11 spot, I had to give it to the Leviathan with the fish tank back bling. And you know what? As I was making this video, I remembered saying the Hay Man has a pretty bad back bling with the hay nest. And I would say Leviathan doesn't have the best back bling with the fish tank. Is there, you know, a pattern here? Does there have to be a good back bling for you guys to buy a skin? I think Leviathan is severely underrated, such a unique skin that you're not going to see ever again. There's never going to be a similar skin to Leviathan. He's in a league of his own, definitely would recommend this guy. Moving on to my number 10 spot, and let me say this real quick, I did try to add like uncommons, epics, rares, legendaries, all the different ones. I try to add a variety. But Caliper is an uncommon pickaxe, and I think it's severely underrated for an uncommon pickaxe. Very simple, sort of like the Cat's Claw, but I love it. Moving on to my number 9 spot, I had to give it to the SAS Sergeant. For me, the SAS Sergeant is just a beautiful skin. He really is the skin that came out a very long time ago, and I feel like not many people even know he exists. I did see Tfue using him though, but I mean, I don't even know. I don't think Tfue can even influence this skin to be purchased more than it has been. Use this skin, guys. But moving on to my number 8 spot, one of my all-time favorites, guys, easily in top 3 overall for every skin to ever exist in this game. I have to give it to the simple yet beautiful Dazzle. The Dazzle, just an amazing skin. The color scheme, perfect. It's so simple. I don't know why I like it, honestly. Maybe it's that ponytail, it looks good. Maybe it's the headband, maybe it's the color orange. I don't really know exactly, but for me, Dazzle is the best rare skin in this game. You have to go buy it. Go buy it. Dazzle gang for the rest of my life. Moving on to my number 7 spot, another orange item, the Razor Edge. The Razor Edge, why do you not own this thing? Why aren't you using this every game? I will admit, the Razor Edge and the Dazzle, that's a combo I'm gonna be using forever. That's a combo I use all the time. You've probably seen me use it in gameplays before. You will see me use it in gameplays in the future. For me, the Razor Edge has such a perfect sound, and it has this like orange little, like, I don't know what to call it, orange little light that comes off of it every time you swing it. The sound's perfect. It looks so cool. It's so unique. I love it, guys. I would definitely recommend you get it. Moving on to my number 6 spot, I had to give it to the Flutterbug. For me, if you guys did not know, any sort of glider that has wings, that's some sort of animal, I love it. I love the Pterodactyl, the Flutterbug, I love the Flappy Flyer, I love the Spirit. Anything like that, it's just amazing to me. Flutterbug definitely reminds me of some sort of Pokemon. I really haven't played Pokemon in a very long time, but if you guys want to leave a comment telling me what Flutterbug is, it's a Pokemon, okay? I don't care what you say, it's a Pokemon. Moving on to my number 5 spot, I had to give it to Turbine. Turbine is the Maximilian pickaxe. It's the pilot skin pickaxe. I love it, guys. I absolutely love this one. This is criminally underrated. I've said that multiple times, but this one, it is criminally underrated. I think our top 5, they are criminally underrated. This one has a perfect sound. This one has flames coming off it every time you swing. The sound makes you want to just go use it like all day. You want to go to sleep to the sound of this pickaxe hitting brick, hitting metal, hitting wood. Oh yeah, hitting that wood. Whoa, that helps me go to sleep nice and hard. But moving on to my number 4 spot, I had to give it to the Maximilian and the Provision. I love this one, guys. It does come with the turbine, so okay, I know these two items, they come in the same set, but still. Maximilian, I do not know why. This one I cannot explain. I really can't. I just love the skin. It's very simple. That's all I can say about it. Like, really, I can't explain why I like it so much, but he also has a really good backbling as well. Very simple. Moving on to my number 3 spot, I had to give it to the Zephyr, which I do believe is the most underrated glider in this game. It's my favorite behind the Pterodactyl. And the Pterodactyl I didn't think was as underrated as the Zephyr, so I felt like it would be wrong to put him any higher up on this list. But Zephyr, for how good it is, I would say it's the most underrated in this game. I love the graffiti look it has, and the color scheme's just perfect. Overall, very simple glider, but it still has a lot going on with it. Moving on to my number 2 spot, I had to give it to the Upright Axe. The most underrated pickaxe in this game. Easily top 5 pickaxes in this whole game as of right now. The sound is way better than the turbine, and you know, turbine probably in top 5 for sounds of pickaxes. These two pickaxes I'll use all day long just for the sound of them. I don't care about the look, but the Upright Axe has a better look, and I do believe it has a better sound. Buy the Upright Axe if you don't want to be thrown in prison. Moving on to my number 1 spot, I had to give it to the chopper with the road flare. If you guys do have the chopper, use it with the red shield. If you see it in the shop, buy it. Please buy it, guys. It's so cool. You'll really never run into it unless you're facing me, and then, you know, obviously you'll get killed and then you'll cry, and yeah, you'll probably unsubscribe. But if you see the skin, it's me. Just know that. Send me a message on Twitter, be like, hey Cobes, you're playing, you're using the chopper. Of course I am. Who else uses this? Easily the most underrated skin that I love. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys disagree? Leave it in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy.